Hello YouTubers. Well, a little while ago a lady sent in a letter. She asked me if I could tell her anything about clothing in wartime. I don't know exactly what she wanted to know, but of course yes I could, because I lived through World War II and I remember it very well. Of course, everything was short in the wartime. Many things were rationed, including clothing, and you had coupons that allowed you to buy suits and shoes and clothing in general. So things were very restricted, and even if things weren't rationed, they were in very, very short supply. So we couldn't actually buy much clothing at all. But one thing you might find interesting, mildly I suppose, is that of course I was, the war started when I was 12 years old, and boys in those days were not allowed to wear long trousers until they reached the age of 14, and of course you can imagine the difficulty about all of that. And like most things that you are denied, they're things that you want to do. Now of course I'm sure your parents wouldn't have been locked up if they did allow such a thing, but it was just a way of the way that life was in those days, and so you didn't wear long trousers until you were age 14. And of course, that magic age to get your long trousers seemed like probably a rite of passage to adulthood, and you couldn't wait for the day. I dare say it probably was kind of handed down from the fact that in school the uniforms made the rule that under 14s would wear short trousers and over 14s would wear long ones, but that was the situation, and it wasn't really very good. And also you had clothing handed down from an older sibling to a younger one, and I remember that my school uniform was given to a younger cousin, and so it was all very frugal really. And of course fashions changed over all the decades, and of course as young people we would like to think that we tried to keep up with fashions. Looking back on it now, some of them seemed extremely silly, but we did. But often of course we felt quite embarrassed that we couldn't, because we were still wearing the sort of clothes of the previous time. But I mean, I like the fashion of young people today, and I like it very much, and it's very nice to see that in fact shorts are one of the things that they choose as the current fashion. So there's a complete reversal of what it was in my day. But I can't help thinking that those sort of make do and mend days of the wartime, where you had to mend your clothes and not be frivolous with your spending, I can't help but think that that rule of life, to not spend more than you earn or have got, might stand some people in good stead today in these terrible economic times that we're now living in. Anyway, that is sort of my thought for today, and a little story about some of the clothing in the wartime. So that's it, and until next time, as always, goodbye.